Ladies and gentlemen, let's Gaming video. We're going to be continuing our review of the GeForce GTX 780 Ti. I am, of course, using the EVGA SuperClocked ACX version. So, I've already done Crisis, and we're going to be doing Metro. As I said previously, this is going to be part of a larger review, which will be up probably tomorrow. Well, depends obviously when you're watching this. It could well have been up for a couple of months, for all I know, by the time you get to watch this. So, I'm going to show you the options that I'm using. Going to be using advanced Physx, which obviously is only available for Nvidia cards. It does take a significant toll. By the way, in the top left hand corner you can see the frame rate now recording. It does take a toll on the frame rate, so whatever it is during the game, you could probably add between 5-7 frames a second, maybe, depending on what's going on at the time. But obviously this is just to give you an idea of how it plays. In terms of the video options, we're going to be running SSAA ×2. It can go up to 4, but honestly, I don't really think it's worth the performance, and for most people, they're probably not going to want to run it at that anyway. Tessellations are very high, everything else is pretty much max. So we're going to be seeing some of this level, which is, I believe, called Torchlight. Going to be playing a little bit of that, and then we're going to go to the next one. I'm certainly going to be playing for all of this, maybe about 10 minutes or 5 minutes, something like that. Then we're going to be playing a different level in a few minutes, and that level is going to be kind of more of an outlying setting, but I want to show you guys just how it works in like a more closed range environment first, so you can get an idea of the frame rate. Now, my card currently is not overclocked, as just to reiterate, obviously, if you've been following along, if you will, with the previous video, you can easily get about another 300 megahertz on the core. So, definitely there is the option. Now, the other thing, of course, is SSAA is incredibly taxing. Obviously, this is also available in Tomb Raider, and it's pretty much exactly the same issue there as well. Tomb Raider, it's pretty damn taxing, as well as, of course, you've got Nvidia Physx. Might put a bit of Tomb Raider gameplay up as well. I haven't really decided on that one, to be honest. Nice lot of dead bodies around. Thank you for the ammo, my good friend. Very nice of you indeed. Is it the M key? There we go. See that we're getting a pretty nice frame rate. If I obviously wasn't recording, just to reiterate, if I wasn't recording, I'd probably be hitting a quite consistent 60 frames a second, which, considering a rather taxing environment that we're within, it's pretty impressive, if I do say so myself. So I've been using the GeForce GTX 780 Ti for a while now. There's reports that the black edition of the Titan's coming out, but at least right now it's looking like it's exactly the same as the Ti. The only difference is that we're going to be seeing more memory, which is probably not going to really help with games at the moment anyway. And I mean, maybe if you're playing like ridiculously ludicrous resolutions, then it would, but certainly not for like 1080p or 1440 most likely. And of course the double precision, which is like another thing. Yes, exactly. So we could see that the frame rate is quite nice, particularly in such a close environment. But even so, there is a lot to do here in terms of lighting, shadows. Obviously, hardware physics is being utilized, and we'll get to shoot things in just a moment. So I'm going to get just a little bit further than this, maybe shoot some crap, because we get to go in this elevator in a second. Yes, I know these games pretty well because I've played on these sections several times over by now, as one can imagine. So, I've been discussing just recently, actually, on Facebook about what the plans are for the channel. So there's a lot of stuff that we've got planned. We've actually got someone who actually owns an Xbox One, so they're going to be covering some stuff regarding Titanfall and some other bits and bobs. He'll introduce himself in the not too distant future, probably today, hopefully. In regards, however, to other bits and bobs like PC stuff, which is what I want to personally focus on quite a lot. I want to be doing, of course, a lot of graphics comparisons between the two next-gen consoles, but also want to be doing a lot of PC-based reviews, simply because that's primarily my forte. I'm not really that much of a console gamer, and so I will cover some stuff on the PlayStation 4, and the channel will certainly be covering PS4 and Xbox One stuff. But just because I'm not that great on console games, I'll just be honest, it's simply just not my forte. I just suck with a controller, just point blank. So I'll probably have Amar to cover quite a few PS4 games. We will be covering them. Graphics comparisons as well, of course. But I'll also be doing a lot of PC reviews with hardware. So just in case you're wondering, that means that we'll be getting like graphics cards. Gonna specifically be aiming like the medium end. Like one of the primary focuses is, I know a lot of guys like the Titan. The Ti is a great card, and you know the frame rate is insane. I'll just be completely honest. Like the frame rate here is just ludicrous, but most people just simply can't justify this type of purchase on a card. You know, a lot of guys. Die, bro. Come on. Yeah, die. Anyway, sorry, I'm just kind of getting into this. So anyway, it's a really good game, by the way. I really recommend it. I'm going to be continuing my Let's Play at some point in the next, couple of years, whenever I get the chance. You see the actual water falling down the scene. It's quite nice, isn't it? Very nice reflections. It's a very good engine. Considering it wasn't like these guys are a huge publisher, but some people complained about this game not being well optimized. I think it could maybe do with a little bit of extra optimization in places, but honestly, it is just a really, really taxing engine. I mean, look at the lighting. The textures, they could use a little bit of work in some places. Occasionally they're a bit ropey, particularly in areas where they don't really expect you to kind of go. But generally speaking, it's incredibly detailed, and there's all these little touches that just really, you can just see where the performance goes. Anyway, so as I was saying, a lot of people just can't justify necessarily outlaying like £500 or something, or whatever it is in your currency on a graphics card, which is, I personally think, a pretty reasonable... Ow! You could have warned me, you little bastard. Well, don't worry about shooting anything, then. It's not like it's a particularly dangerous experience. They're only trying to eat us. Anyway, a lot of people just can't justify it. And so we're going to be primarily sticking to, like, the £500 to £700 computers. Still going to be covering super-duper high-resolution hardware. I mean, obviously, we're covering this. But we're also going to be focused a lot on, like, cheaper hardware as well. Like, for example, but certainly not limited to, the R7s, which we'll be getting in for review pretty sharpish, and so on. So I'm going to get just a hair past this, and we're going to be loading up a different level. This is my platform. You are not allowed on it. Ow. Not that I'm trying to... Good old fill it with lead. So I'm just going to play just a hair more. I'm trying to just get up here so that we can see a nice indication on, like, frame rate. As I was saying earlier, it's pretty damn consistent. Now, just to reiterate, guys, I know I've mentioned it once or twice previously, but I just want you to bear in mind that obviously frames are being affected by the recording process. It's not super bad, but obviously it's still caching and slightly interfering with the GPU. It's certainly not bad. Ow! It's certainly not bad, but you're probably going to be looking at, 5, 10 frames a second, something like that. Impact, depending obviously what's going on. Obviously right now the GPU is being really taxed because of hardware physics, incidentally. So anyway. Alright, cool. I think that's a good place to call up to this point. So I'm going to basically pause it, load up a different level, and then we're going to continue, just so you can see it in a really open, sparse, really hugely open environment. Alright, 1 second. Okay guys, so we're back into it. basically we're going to be in a very closed environment just for a moment, and then we're going to be outside. I just want you to kind of get one last idea of, you know, just how pretty this is. It's going to be a lot of shooting in a second. Obviously, I'm just going to give you the caveat, and one of the reasons that this is going to be kind of violent and a little bit scary. So if you're someone that gets kind of freaked out about this, then just something to be aware of there. Oh, great, I get the cracked gas mask. Fantastic. Yeah, I get the fucked up piece of crap, and you get the nice one. Actually, to be fair, it's not that bad.
Hey, приятель, I could use a good watch like yours. Knowing how much air you got left is a must, huh?
I'd rather have the good gas mask and the good watch. I'll count. Alright, let's go, bro.
You have been through some bad shit, I know, but
now we're going to be in a nice open environment. And you're certainly going to be seeing quite a profound difference.
Don't drop your guard for an instant, okay? Whoa, that's impressive.
Obviously, the frame rate went straight through the roof there.
This place. That plane was headed into Moscow when the whole
now, interestingly enough, and I don't know if you're noticing that as well, but in terms of frame rate, the engine actually does a really good job. In terms of I'm sorry, I can't speak English suddenly. A rather large open environment. Sorry guys, I slept like absolute crap last night. So I'm trying to be relatively, what's the word? Comprehensible. So anyway, as I was saying, we're certainly going to be seeing a lot of rain debris on this area, and there's going to be a lot of enemies that we're going to be fighting. I'm going to try and get into a little bit of trouble. I certainly shouldn't, but I'm just going to shoot some crap, and I'm going to kind of piss this guy off because he doesn't want me to shoot them. Can we burn this? Ah! Go on. No. No. Apparently we can't upset Mother Nature, which is understandable. You can see that the rain is definitely having an impact on the frame rate. And interestingly enough, you know, if we look up, we can actually start seeing quite a lot of rain start falling on the gas mask. You can actually see it running off. This is one of the reasons that this game is so bloody intensive. Like, it's just all of these little animations, like with the pistol. You can see just how profound they are. Let me just actually turn on my flashlight so we can kind of see some stuff better. And I'll burn some crap as well, because burning is love. I did warn you guys that, you know, creepy crawlers and all that good jazz. And you know what? Let me take that off. Let me get the non-piece of crap. There we go! It now has a non-piece of crap. Isn't that better? Doesn't that make you feel happy? To know that we're not going to suffocate class? Alright. Now we're definitely going to be getting into some trouble because of these guys. And I'm going to definitely shoot them. Why? Because I want to upset them. I would have thought they'd have come down. Ow, okay, they do come down. Never mind. He actually doesn't like me doing this because... Ow, 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 ow. Oh yeah, I forgot about the shotgun. Crap, I'm actually being a chimp. I did think to myself, I had a shotgun last time when I was on this bit. Well, that's probably because I forgot the shotgun. Give me that. Alright. 1 second, bro. I'll be right there. Don't worry, little fella. I've got your back, sort of. Ow. Aren't I helpful? Get him into lots of trouble, and then I can come and rescue him. So anyway, just to reiterate, this is pretty much an incredibly impressive experience. Hardware Physx is very taxing. I'm most likely going to run this scenario again, not on camera because that's just pointless, but I will run some of this scenario again, or at least run the Metro bench because obviously that's more repeatable and a lot easier to cover. And we can see the difference in hardware Physx. I don't exactly know what it is offhand, and this is a pure guess, so don't take my word for this. But I believe it's around 15, frames a second, maybe slightly higher. Hardware physics is definitely quite taxing. I've also been checking on Batman and a couple of other games as well. It definitely does affect the average. You actually get up to 100 frames plus a second, as it turns out. Alright, come on, bro. Right, I'm going to play just a hair longer, and then that's going to be it for this particular video. It's because I think you guys have a good understanding now of ye old frame rate.
Okay, let's go.
I'm just going to reiterate that this part is quite disturbing. Some people can get kind of freaked out on this. This is kind of one of those areas that if you're squeamish, basically, you might want to stop the video. I say that only because, it's only fair to warn people with squeamish dispositions. Obviously, I imagine a lot of you just don't give a crap, but, some people will, so it's only fair to warn viewers. By the way, for those of you who are considering actually playing Metro Last Light, this is not really a spoiler, this is just kind of like a set piece. So you're not going to be seeing any, like, oh god, that whole story just got ruined for me. No, it's nothing like that. But, as I said, I'm actually extremely impressed with this game, and I'd recommend you check it out. But as for the graphics card, so far my impressions are pretty good. Now, this is going to be part of a much larger review, but in case you're just checking this one video out, and you're just curious, should I buy it? It all depends on what you want. For example, on the channel, we bought it for a couple of reasons. One of them is because, well, honestly speaking, we needed to show games. Now, obviously, some of you guys might be happy to not have hardware physics on, whatever, and that's cool. But certainly you could do with like a GTX 780 if you don't want to spend the extra on a tie. Currently, and this is just a rough guesstimate, the difference in pricing, depending obviously on the model, the version you're getting, it's, roughly about 100 to 150 pounds. The GTX 780s start at, mid 300s range, like 350, 360, slightly more. And you can certainly get a GTX tie for about £100. Sorry, about £100 more. You can get it for like, the 500 range is the cheapest I've seen. I'm certainly not going to give you guys, buy this specific brand. Or should I say not specific brand, or buy from this specific area, but Amazon, of course. In the UK, you can get it from overclockers, who do pretty good deals, like if you get it on this week only. Amazon, of course, pretty reasonable pricing. You can get like cheaper brands like PNY or whatever, and you can get them for like $500. The reference cooler on the GTX is, the 780s rather, is actually pretty good. Obviously, your mileage may vary on overclocks as well, just to say. But obviously, if you're overclocking like, let's say, another 200 megahertz, which is pretty safe bet. You can pretty much bet you're going to be able to get that extra 200 megahertz. I'm not guaranteeing it because obviously it's all silicon lottery and all that jazz. But let's just assume that you can get. He's not a demon. He's just lonely. Come on, wouldn't you be lonely? He just wants to show you the world. He wants to fly with you. Would you not want to fly with him? Doesn't he look trustable? Oh, sweet, we get to have a little tour. It's actually pretty good for the frame rate, to be honest. Ow, 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 ow. That wasn't very nice of him. So anyway, as I was saying, it's a pretty good purchase. It's a very good purchase. It just depends on if you're personally willing to kind of cough up the extra little smidge of money. Interesting. It's actually an interesting type of game because I actually never have been in here before. I always missed it. I don't know how I always miss it, but there you go. So, I wonder if you're actually supposed to go in here. I'm trying. Oh, there we go. Cool. Anyway, I was kind of wondering why the hell I couldn't pick that crap up. That's somewhat irritating. Anyway, I think that's just about it. So anyway, once again, just to reiterate the points, usually between about 5-ish frames per second more. Certainly in Metro, you're getting at 60 frames per second with SSAA times 2. Everything, by the way, on the Nvidia control panel is set to application. Oh, I think I forgot to mention my system specifications, didn't I? Which is a bit naughty of me. I'm actually running Intel Haswell I7 Very slight overclock on it, I believe at 4.4 gigahertz, but I've just been messing about with the overclock settings, so you can give it take like 100 megahertz, but I believe it's 4.4, not 4.5. Could probably get more out of it, but I just can't be bothered to actually mess around and tune the voltages right now, if I'm totally honest. As for the memory, I'm of course talking about the memory of the PC rather than GPU. It's running 16 gigabytes, so you know, there's not going to be any real bottlenecks there. Anyway, hopefully you've enjoyed the video. I'll see you soon. Take care. Bye for now.